Hi, I'm Cedric, and I'm a creative with scars and insight. And this is day one of being real. And I wanted to start this channel to simply share my love of food and cooking, travel, tech, music, film, and cinematography. But before we get into all of that, a little bit about me. About 2 years ago, I got cast in a little film called Bugonia, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, starring Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, and Alicia Silverstone from Clueless. And I wanted to tell you something that people don't expect. It didn't change my life. I'm still auditioning, I'm still building, and I'm still figuring it out. And I don't want to create this fantasy about filmmaking and actors and this celebrity life. And actors are humans. And the way we're able to portray such truth on screen or on stage is because of our humanity, is because of our experiences, what we've been through, and also our imagination and everything and training. But I wanted to start this channel to also talk about my scars and how I think it can help others as an individual, but also as a man. The things I've gone through, how I've grown from them, how I've learned, whether it's from relationships, breakups, family issues. I'm simply here to share what I've learned, how I've grown from it, and if it maybe helps anybody else or if it's relatable. And the thing about getting cast in Bugonia, and this wasn't some Hollywood machine where everyone just kind of came together and they were like, okay, Cedric, you're just going to be in Bugonia. I didn't have a big agent. I just stayed visible. I stayed in room. I continued to network. I made sure the casting directors knew who I was. I just tried to be out there and I networked and I networked and I networked. My biggest thing is I kept saying yes. So whenever I would see something, I would think, oh, this is not really for me, but I'm just going to say yes. Because you never know what can happen. You never know who's behind the camera in anything else in life. You never know who's really behind it. You never know how it might change your life. You might have a wonderful experience from it. You might have a wonderful lesson from it. And that's what happened for me in Begonia. So let me just give you a short story about how Begonia came about. This might be a bit funny, but this is basically how it happened. And one day, I just saw a casting call for a film looking for actors, American actors in London, which is where I'm based. And I thought, oh, okay, fine, cool. And I have an agent, not a big one, but I have an agent who just gets me work. But when I saw it, why not? And again, just going back to saying yes. So I sent my information, demo reel, all that stuff, and completely forgot about it. A few weeks later, I get an email asking me to put something on tape. Great. I put it on tape, send it, forgot about it. Continued with other auditions, and I just continued doing what I was doing. And about a month or so later, I get an email saying that I'm shortlisted. And I go, what was that for again? I completely forgot about it. I had to go back to look at my deleted mail and things. I realized, oh, cool. So this is a feature film. No idea who it is. Cool. So then I get a recall, aka a callback with the casting directors. Huge shout out to Sally McCleary and Millie Hooper at McCleary Casting. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And I read with them, and that was it. She gave me some direction, and of course, forget about it, go do other things. And about a month or two later, I get an offer email. And I was like, what is that? I've never really had that before. And it's basically an email offering the role of Chris to me, basically, and saying, would I like to accept, etc., etc. And then I looped in my agent. Even then, I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know what the film was about. I don't know who was in the film. I don't know who was directing the film, who was producing the film. I just know I got cast in the film that was heavily NDA'd, which is a non-disclosure agreement. Couldn't talk about anything. I couldn't tell anybody about it. Nothing. Finally, I get on set for my fitting. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm in London. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm here. This is cool, but I'm here. I trust my team. Good. We're here. And it wasn't until the producer came, I was kind of in the blue. I was sitting there waiting to get fitted, and he introduced himself, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you as well, blah, blah, blah. And he says, you have no idea who your scene partner is, do you? And I go, no. He goes, would you like to know? And I go, yeah, that would be nice. And he goes, well, your first scene is with Emma Stone. And I went, no. And your second scenes are going to be with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons might be in it. I'm like, wait. Jesse Plemons? Jesse Plemons? And he goes, yeah. And then he adds that some scenes are going to be with Alicia Silverstone. And then I then go, Alicia Silverstone from Clueless? Alicia Silverstone? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what is happening? And then he goes, do you know who your director is? I'm like, no. But then I started putting two and two together because how Yorgos works with Emma and Jesse. And I went, please don't tell me. He goes, yeah, it's Yorgos Lanthimos. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't know what to do. I was like, my jaw down on the floor. And I thought, what the, you know? But anyway, got on set, met everybody. Yorgos was amazing. Emma was amazing. Jesse was great. It was so amazing to watch them work. Got to sit there and teach them some tongue twisters, which I'm not going to talk about because it has a lot of curse words. But it really gets your mouth moving in order to warm up your mouth. That way you're not stumbling on words when you have big monologues. Because Emma has big monologues in that film. And if you know anything about Yorgos, you know he loves film. So this was shot on 35 millimeter film. Therefore, we only have about 4 to 5 minutes for each take. And there's monologues. And we need to do the monologues, and now we have to wait for the barrels to be changed. Film. But I will say all this happened because I kept saying yes. I thought to myself, you know what? This industry is tough. I'm just gonna say yes. As long as it doesn't go against my morals or it doesn't have anything to do with harassment, hurting people, basically anything that's morally wrong by the vast majority, I would say yes to it. And this is where it landed me. I said yes, and here, Bugonia. And as of today, Bugonia has received 4 Oscar nominations, one of them being Best Picture. So, yeah, but there are some amazing films this year. There's Hamnet, there's a film with Timothy Chalamet. There's a lot of amazing films this year. Sinners, come on, man. There's a lot. So, everyone's doing amazing work. One thing about Yorgos, though, Yorgos is cool, man. Yorgos, first of all, he has this giant dog. I remember I came on set and I thought, is this a wolf? You know? It's a big dog, but a big gentle, so gentle. I guess like Yorgos. Yorgos is like a big, I don't want to call him a big kid. He's not a kid, but he was warm, if that makes sense. Yorgos was warm. And he made me feel welcome, and made a lot of us feel welcome on set. It was a wonderful set to work on. Emma was amazing. Emma was amazing. And it was amazing to watch. And so was Jesse. This movie, Jesse killed it. And after being on set for a few days, you know what surprised me? It wasn't how big it all felt. It was more how normal it felt. When I walked in thinking I'm going to be in this project with Emma, Jesse, Yorgos, who've done great work with Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness, I thought it was going to be intimidating. I thought I was going to walk on there, and even though I have a few lines, I thought I might stumble upon my lines. But my scene is directly with Emma, and she made me feel so comfortable to the point where we were rehearsing back and forth with each other because she has a big monologue. And I thought, man, this feels like I'm just in class. It just feels like I'm back in my drama program, just, working my fellow actor. And I'm so grateful for this experience. And it was such an amazing time, and I'll never forget it. There was no magic, no lightning bolt. It was just normal people who were very kind, very welcoming, and who made the experience so worth it. Yeah. And I think we're taught that there are certain moments that are supposed to like arrive us. In other words, I've arrived. That once you get the role, the job, the relationship, that you're gonna be someone. And what I really learned is that moments don't transform you. They simply reveal who you already are. And that's a big idea that I had to learn while I was on set. Because I kept thinking, man, this is a bit intimidating. But when I realized everyone was so nice, and I remember being on set when I was 16 years old, and I'm now 35, and you think, I didn't just arrive. Every little job that you've taken, every little step that you've taken have led you or me here. What can easily happen on set is you can have this imposter syndrome. You're like, you feel, whoa, these actors are huge. Little old me, I don't belong here. Like, what do I have to give? You have a lot to give. You have your own experience. Everyone's got their own experiences. Each individual brings their own experiences, their culture. There are people that come from different parts of the world. But one thing I want to talk about is that working on this film didn't really fix anything inside of me. In terms of, I've been working for so long and it's like, I've arrived. Now I feel like a different person. No. But actually, what it did, the film, including where I am now with friends, relationships, and everything, it showed me something really important, which is I was still tying my worth to my outcomes. And I specifically remember having a conversation with someone where I was equating my value to money. In other words, how much money I had meant how valuable I was. And that's not true. The amount of films I make, commercials, doesn't increase my value. Maybe to brands it might. What matters is what's inside. Who am I? How do I treat people? If someone goes, oh, Cedric, this and that, what will they say about me? Am I kind? Am I respectful? Am I loving? Am I caring? Am I supportive? And all of that sort of happened after the film because it made me realize, okay, I did this giant film and I started realizing I was tying my outcome to my value. So this series is not about teaching anything. I want it to be about me unlearning a lot about success, creativity, love, healing, growth, and what it actually means to feel enough. And this is just day one. My name is Cedric, and I'll see you tomorrow.